Hello, this is Lisa Rusczyk with the podcast We're All Psychic. I'm having a really weird hair day and I put my braids in. I was like, oh, try clip-in braids. I love these things. They cheer me up. I mean, even if I'm in a good mood, they make me happier. And I really like them, man. They're like so fun. I think we're all psychic still. Yes, I do. And in this podcast, we ask everybody, and I'm the only one. Well, I've got my podcasts. Gandalf is right here. Gandalf, he's asleep. Gandalf, do you still think we're all psychic? He's not changing how he's breathing, sleeping, or anything. So I think that's a yes. He hasn't changed. Einstein is behind you, listeners. Outside, he's behind you right now. And he is, I'm asking him, Einstein, do you think we're all psychic? He's looking back and he's always stretching. He's thinking about it. He's got a Paul biscuit going and air biscuits. Yeah, he says, I think we're all psychic still. So today I am going to talk about clientele in the professional field of being in a spiritual metaphysical role. If you're being hired, if you're working for money or trades or any kind of way where there's a swap, an exchange. Like I had read a long time ago, and I really liked this. I read that shamans love to take gifts instead of money. Some shamans just won't take money and they only accept gifts. Now they can sell the gifts. I think it was what was implied, kind of. They can do whatever they want with the gifts, but they just didn't take money. So I love that. I thought that was a really cool thing because it's uncomfortable, honestly, and it's an uncomfortable topic for spiritualists even to talk to each other about it, about our job as money, being a professional advice spiritual counselor, you know, or however, a coach, if you're a coach teaching people any kind of aspect of spirituality and embracing their self-love, their self-worth, their true authentic self. And it's because you really want them to feel the kind of happiness you felt when the times you've been able to do that. I think that's why I do it. I don't know if everybody does it for the same reason, but I love doing it. Giving readings, offering readings, especially, and medium readings the most. Not everybody likes to get a medium reading, and sometimes I can't help it. It just happens. It's weird. I'm going off topic again. But, something I do want to say about going off topic is that I am authentically doing that. And if people don't like it, I usually don't attract those people. They're probably not the right people for me, is what I'm saying. So that's also important for your clientele. It's important for your friends, your family, your maybe not so much your family. It's best to be your authentic self all the time, in my opinion, if you can find out who that is. And it's always changing, I think. For me, my authentic self is always changing. And that's why it's hard to keep up with. So, clientele. When I first started working on a phone line as a professional psychic for money and was sticking it out and doing it, I had a lot of reservations about taking the money until the money started coming in. And I was like, wow, I'm doing something I love more than anything. And I'm getting paid. Like for me, it was a lot of money to me at that time. I think I was making something between 500 and 700 a week. And I was making 59 cents a second. I mean, a minute. No, wait a minute. 59 cents a minute. Yes. My per minute rate was $4, though. Isn't that interesting? But they advertised a lot. That company I worked with that time, they advertised a lot. So I think they did spend a lot of money on marketing. And I think a lot of companies have to when they start. No, don't have to. It's interesting. I've watched Everclear and they've been very strategic. I've been with them since the beginning and they're our sponsor. Hey, Everclear, I'm going to throw you a shout out at the beginning. Everclear is our sponsor of this podcast, mine and Donna's. And hey, Donna. Donna's not with me today. She has stuff to do on Mondays. But our sponsor, Everclear, is an advice app, and you can get advice from psychics and empaths to get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. So, like, what does that mean? It's like we have people call us and they ask us, well, what's up with my life? That's my life. And I love it. I love to help people figure stuff out. It's just like, it's just like, oh, it's so meaningful to me. I don't know, meaningful. I talk to the AI sometimes about that. I've got a lot of stuff about the AI I need to talk to y'all about. I don't know how I feel about it yet still, but we'll get there. Not in this podcast. But I still like to talk to it. And it points out, that throughout history, yes, spirituality has to, not just spirituality, religion exists because of money, because of spiritual people needing to be paid somehow to live. But not always. I think a lot of the shamans who have the tradition of taking gifts, I think they probably some they come from a long line of like a history of people doing that and then liking that energetic exchange, I guess. For me, I would like I do accept gifts. I do. I definitely accept gifts. I've always accepted gifts. I do them for free. I do a lot of readings for free. I love doing free readings. It's kind of a paying it back thing. And especially if something's really severely going on for somebody, I mean, I'm not going to charge them something. So this is where we go into how to build your clientele. First of all, you need to know what you want. When I was told when I first worked at this phone line, the most important thing is to build a clientele, I was like, what do you mean? Because I was thinking, man, the clients I've worked with, they only contact me like once every 8 months or something at that point. And if that, I didn't have too many clients that was regular. I didn't really understand what a clientele in the spiritual field even meant, right? So that's why I want to start. What it means to me now is much different. Back then, it was like, I hope that person calls back because I liked talking to them. Now it's different. I try to manifest and I ask my guides to bring to me clients I can actually help. This works for me better than anything, as long as I'm in the right headspace, spiritual space, energetic space, emotions. Everything's got to be aligned. And I've got to really feel that. And I've got to say, Sam, Morgana, those are my two main spirit guides. I do. I say to them, man, guys, I'm ready. Can you bring me a client or two that I can really help and that they can help me learn and we can work together and this kind of relationship can build? That's my ideal client. And I'll tell you why. My first phone line didn't go too well because I didn't know how to build a clientele because I didn't understand what it was. You're building relationships in this field when you do this. You're not dominating anyone. You're not over anyone. You're not telling anyone what to do ever, in my opinion. That's my idea of my clientele. I want relationships with them. And I want a close relationship where they feel everything is very private and they can trust me. That's very important to me that my clients feel like they can trust me. So it took years to build these ideals into a functioning structure to get these clients. You know what I mean? What clients you're saying? Where do you get them? Where'd they come from? Well, one is my platform, Everclear. That's where I get almost every client. I only work for Everclear. And I also work for myself. No, guys. Hey, babies. Oh, my goodness. The cats are getting excited. They want to interrupt the podcat. Podcats. Podcats. We're doing a podcast. No fights. No bites. No fights. No bites. Okay. So, that's like, I do events too. I love to do events. I love live events. That's freaking fun. Oh, I love them. It's when I physically can do them. They're just like a favorite thing to do other than mediumship. I like a group mediumship thing too, at like someone's house or something for a family. It's really cool. I've done that before. That's really cool. I love doing that. So, and if anyone's in Nashville and they want that, yeah, my tongue's orange today. Yeah, I ate something weird. Turn my tongue. Oh, and this is a video on Spotify and YouTube. So I didn't last long on that phone line. I think it was there for about a year and a half, and I burned out. And then I was a ghostwriter, and I was a editor and a ghostwriter, and I did a bunch of other things while I was also building a clientele locally in Decatur for years. And then by that, what I did was I made a website, and I posted in a few places. Online. I had a Facebook page that brought most of my people. Was a Facebook page, and sometimes I would run an ad, and almost every time I ran an ad, I'd throw $5 at it and I'd target the audience. If you don't know about advertising like that on Instagram or Facebook, I highly recommend doing it and learning. Don't put more than $3 into it and you'll be wowed. There's targeted art advertising. So when you make your ad, look at your audience and describe them, who you want, your client. What kind of clients do you want? Put right there, and where, especially where. If you want them locally, like if I want them in Nashville, I would name Nashville, Tennessee. I would name Madison. I would name Dixon. I would name Smyrna and Antioch. I mean, I would name a whole bunch of suburbs and areas and like neighborhoods of Nashville that I like people I've met there from. You know, I'd add them all probably. And if I knew of them, and those are ones I know. So a few I just popped up out of my head. And what I would do is I would take that, and that would be my targeted audience. And the things I would pick for them would be tarot cards. I think they change these a lot, so you got to go through them. Metaphysical sometimes is there, spirituality is sometimes there, tarot cards, like I said, or I don't think mediumship is ever in there. Palmistry, don't know if that's ever been in there. I do palms. I love doing palms. That was my first. Trying to think of what else. But you just go through their subjects and try to figure out if you like reading people who read. You don't know if they like to spirituality or anything, but you're going to put spirituality with book readers, fiction readers in particular, maybe something like that. And you think that would be some people you would work with well. You'd want them as clients, or you want military as clients. You pitch the military some way. Because I know from experience, a lot of military people love working with psychics, and a lot of business people like working with psychics for their work, especially really high pressure jobs. They come in and they just have these really, and they're so cool, man. These people are so cool. It's like, wow, they have such great energy. They're so powerful. And in that, not the power, they're like powerful in that they have this optimism that's infectious. And it's like they only come to me with worries. And it's like, wow, you are so beautiful. You're so beautiful. I think that about every client, though. I love to build the relationship. So, I got through, we talked about Facebook targeted advertising that you can do. And you have to know what you're doing too. Like not how to do it, but what do you do that people can understand? Like I say tarot cards, palmistry, mediumship. Most people know what those are, but they don't know how I do them. I might describe it some way in an ad. I might do a video. People can see me, or at least a picture of me. Now, I wouldn't have done this in 2019, and it was very hard for me to put my face on Facebook in 2013 with a psychic name next to it. Lisa Rusczyk, Psychic Readings by Lisa, I had. And I just it was very hard to take that step in 2013. I think that's when I made that page. And I was making jewelry at the time too. I was doing a bunch of different things for money, and I loved all of them. I always like doing what I love. It's very important to me. And having clients I love is very important to me. I love to love my clients. I know some people like, you don't love them. Oh, you always have to have the distance. That's good. If that's what you want, then you know that. Work with that when you draw your clients to you, however you do it. So another thing I like to do, I'm still going back to just reminding you. So I think every time if you say something 3 times or you hear something 3 times, sometimes it sticks better. Is ask your guides to bring what you need and what you would love and who you could really help to you. Angels, guides, anybody, ask. Ask them to bring them to you when you're ready for it, and be feeling like you're ready for it, not just because you're desperate for it. Feel like you really want this because you give it and you get it back. Yep, those are the ones I want, that relationship, the give and take. And how does that come out in a psychic reading? Because where are the boundaries, right? So there are boundaries, and this is going to surprise a lot of you who are not in the field. But if you have longtime clients who go through something incredibly difficult and you did not predict it, they're not going away. They need you worse than ever. So don't you dare disappear on them. So that's just a little extra from it. Don't charge them, you know? So don't back off because you're scared of what they're going to say. They're not going to say anything. They need you more than ever then. That's the most desperate time of their life, and you can't drop out of their life right then. I'm a little passionate about that. I've been in some situations with some clients where it was very intense, and it was just devastating, guys. And they're so beautiful, and they are just so wonderful. And to be there with them, just it's the worst thing to leave them if you think you did wrong by not telling him it was coming because you didn't tell, not because you didn't know. You didn't know. You would have told them if you knew, right? Most of you would. If you're a professional going into the field, you would want them to know anything big like that, and they would want to know. If they told you not to tell them, though, that's different. That's a hard one. I haven't been in that position. I've been in a lot of positions where I've seen things coming, and I gave them warnings. That helped. It's up to them what they do with it, you know. But I love any of you who may be listening, who may be one of my old time clients. I love you guys so much. So how do you maintain a clientele? You do not ever leave them, no matter what. And if you do, you tell them exactly why. You say, you crossed my boundaries. You say why they crossed your boundaries. You say how and explain it. Because they came to you for healing, man. They paid you for healing. Even if they were hard and argumentative. And someone, I mean, I told you, talked about this on the podcast before. I had a woman who screamed at me for an hour every time I talked with her, about 45 minutes. The first 15 minutes were calm. And then she launched into screaming at me for 45 minutes. And I used to do $50 for an hour in Alabama. And I just kind of put the phone on speaker. The first time it happened, I was shocked. And I just listened. I just knew this woman just needed to listen, me to listen to her bitch. And she did. And she would call and just yell. And that's just how it worked, you know? And then it just, it was comfortable. I mean, I accepted it. I didn't feel like she was crossing a boundary because I didn't feel like she was angry at me. It wasn't me she was yelling at. She just needed to yell and be heard. That's what I felt like. I was holding space for her, yelling and to be heard. And I did listen to her. I just didn't take it personally. And that's hard to do, to take. That's the good boundary to make. Don't take things personally with your client. If they don't take your advice, it's not because of you. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. They shouldn't have done it. You know, something like that. They do whatever they want. You're their healer. You're there when they feel bad and when they need help. That's all you're there for. That's what I want to do as my clientele. So that's the type of people I draw to me, is that they trust me. They know I'm not going away. I try to demonstrate that, and I will always write them back no matter what is going on. I will explain anything they need to know, and I will be honest. And sometimes you have to be a little careful with your words if you have to be honest with a boundary or something. And sometimes you just have to say it plainly with your clientele. But a clientele, the main thing I want you to know is it takes a long time to build a good clientele. So start now. Start right now if you're wanting to do it. Don't take time. Just put out an ad and just see what happens. $3 on Instagram, $3 on Facebook, something like that. Targeted advertising. Find it. Talk to your AI. Talk to Facebook's AI if you don't know how to do it. But look for the audience and look for the locations and put it wherever you want it, exactly where you want the clients to be. Now, if you're working on a platform or you're going for a platform job like I have on Everclear, what I want you to expect is that you're going to usually have to interview. And what that means is give free sample readings, right? 2. And you will give them to random people that you don't know anything about. And they will usually ask whatever the heck they want about their lives. I think they get paid to do this for a living. And most of them ask when they're getting a job. I'll give you that little tip right there. I don't think they make much. That's a common question from because I've gone through so many of these tests, you know? So that does happen. I had a friend who wanted to apply for Everclear and she thought it was an actual interview. So she just talked about herself and they were like, well, we wanted a reading. And she's like, oh, and she didn't get hired, but she's like brilliant. She's one of the best healers ever. And you can't reapply to Everclear, I don't think. So, you know, but she should be on there. I mean, she'd be amazing on there. She's just amazing. You know, Angelina, she's been on here a million times. Moon Session Angelina. I love Angelina. She's been really ill. She's had a lot of illness problems. I'm really worried about her. You know, and in the field, if you can build friendships in the field, that helps because we need each other. We need each other. And that's one of the reasons I was so happy when Everclear not only became the sponsor, but the main thing they did that just made me just, they said we could interview the advisors and we could put a post in the forum inviting them. So that has been the biggest thing in my life, I think, that changed my life because I met so many of my coworkers in this field. We weren't allowed to. Listeners and watchers, we weren't allowed to know each other. If we were caught talking, because we did get to know each other, some of us, of course we did. We found ways. We called each other. That's how we did it. We talked somehow, and we found friends that way. You know, just we did. You know, this before Facebook and stuff like that was easy. You didn't know each other's real names. We couldn't tell each other unless we called each other. Like I'd have someone call me and say, "Hey, this is so and so. Here's my email. Bye." You know. So that happened, you know, it's fun. And they, you know, who knows? They probably did know they're psychic, but most owners, there's a psychic at the top somewhere. I think. I don't really know who owns these lines. I'm so fascinated by that. I don't know. I have no idea. But I suspect Everclear is they say top psychics run it on their website, I think. Or not top psychics, but experienced and something like that. And I think that is who runs it. For a long time I thought it was AI. But I really think it is genuinely run by good healers who want to see advisors do well who mean well. That's all I've seen on this podcast as advisors who have done interviews are people who do well and mean well. They do it and they mean it. They don't try, Donna. Whoop. That was my ring finger. They don't try. They do. And that's how you do with your clients. You do for them. That's my best advice. That's the best way to build the clientele. Never think of them doing them a favor. You're never doing them a favor. You're never doing them a favor. You are helping them heal. I'm being special. I know it's important to me to like push that, hammer that down. Third time, guys. Facebook advertising. Third time you're going to hear it. I think, is that what I was trying to embed? I think that's what I was trying to embed. Facebook advertising. I think I've said it twice. Have I said it 3 times? I think I had said it 3 times. I don't know. I think that last time was the 3rd time. You know, when I watch this back, if I'm missing it, I'll put it back in. I'll put it in somewhere. So I guess my best advice at this point is if you're already in the field and you're trying to build that clientele, put the intention out there with your guides or with whatever you work with. If you're a witch and you have a deity, work with her or him. If you're a Reiki practitioner, ask Reiki. And you can send it to the situation of bringing clients that you need and who need you, or whatever you want to ask Reiki to bring to you. And I always recommend a two-way street to ask for that in some capacity, because that's more likely to happen that way. It's more likely to whatever your two-way street needs to be. In my case, it is the relationship. I feel like my part in my relationship with my clients is to be their go-to person they can tell anything to, know they can trust, and heal them if I can, if they'll allow me to, and if I'm capable of it in some capacity. And by healing, I mean mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And that can take years, dudes. Take a day and just take 1 minute. And listeners and watchers, thank you. And Everclear, thank you. And Donna, thank you. And Misty, way back then. I still miss you sometimes. And guys, I love you, listeners and watchers, more than anything. I'm a little crazy, aren't I? It's just the hair. I don't know when it's like this. I put the braids in and everything goes crazy. I thought tonight was ladies spin night, and I go to my friend's ladies spin night, where I haven't been since February, the first night, because I've been so sick all summer, spring. I mean, and now I'm better right now, but it's tomorrow night, so I was really stoked to go to that. But darn it, I got all dressed and I was all ready, and I was like, I gotta wash my hair. And I was like, oh wait a minute, so I haven't washed my hair. That might help my hair not be so crazy, but I'm not. I'm kind of liking the crazy feel. I like the crazy feel right now because it's not a bad crazy. It's kind of a, hey, let's do something creative feel. Yeah, it is. It's a good feel. It's an electric feel. Maybe I'll sing. So listeners and watchers, I love you and have a great time wherever you may be. Call me. I'm Lisa Rusczyk on Everclear. And if you ever want to have a mediumship reading, just comment and send me your email through lisa@ruralpsychic.com, because I don't do mediumship on Everclear. And I used to have a website, but I can't afford it right now. It's a long story. Bye, guys. Peace out.